when a project like this comes along, you just must think, I got to do this, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, what was it that was so special about it though? Because I mean, I'm sure you get scripts all the time or calls. So hey, can you do something for this? And what makes this one special?
For us, it's the point of view. It had a very
Yeah.
unique point of view, and there's a range because it's kind of like one of those shows that are trying to be classic. It goes from yesterday to the future to today, and for us to be able to generate something sonically with that sentiment is just inspiring. And plus the team, like we knew of the team, we knew of them, um, like the showrunner, some of the producers, and obviously Colin Farrell. So it's just like, yo, man, there's no way this can be whack. We got to be part of this, you know. So that's
And to add to that, the support of the studio, because I mean, network, they really champion for Adrian and I, like we
yes,
we like we handpicked you guys kind of a thing. And it's just like,
yeah,
that's very humbling to know that people really, not only for our other composer work, but really just as our artistry, and sometimes that's not embraced in the scoring world, so we had to say yes to this.
Yeah. Well, also musically, this one's kind of all over the place, which is great. That gives you so much of a playground to work with, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's like for us digging in the crates, Adrian and I, we still dig in the crates, like we're music collectors and lovers of music, you know, we're musical archaeologists. And so this show, everything about it just was in within that wheelhouse.
Mhm.
And we wanted and understanding because it was a very complex story, and it has a lot of layers. Even the way it left off, it's just like what did I just see? So we had a huge job, and it really allowed for who we are as artists, who we are as guys who dig in the crates, guys who are tastemakers, who are DJs, um, to bring all of that creative excitement to all these intricate sounds, where we have space, where we have silence, using silence as a note, and then really getting very dark and filled up and just taking you through this like what am I seeing? What is happening? And I'm along for the ride, but what's going on, So it was a lot for us to do.
hmm And at what point did they give this to you? Because sometimes you just get scripts, sometimes you get little clips, sometimes you get whole episodes.
he had already started shooting.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so we was it actually finished shooting, Ollie?
It was finished. Yeah, they were
Mm.
done. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they were
brought
done
yeah.
shooting. Yeah, they were done shooting then. Um, and then they brought us in. So I mean, it was honestly like as soon as we saw it, we are like, oh damn, okay, they're really
Yeah.
going for it, you know. So it's just like Ali and I are artists outside of just being composers for film and television.
That's right.
So what's really cool is when we are asked as artists to be the composer for a new film or new show because they like what we do already. You know what I'm saying? And they're asking us to bring what we do to that. And it's a very unique, fortunate position that we're in because we could bring music to score, you
Yeah.
know? But one of the things that I've always loved about score is that if I could watch a movie and no matter what the emotion is, I could be just like this, like, damn, that just sounds good.
Mhm.
And still get the emotion. That's always the best. That's like the hip hop in me. I've always
Yeah.
loved that. If I'm watching like old Ennio Morricone stuff or whomever
Mhm.
it is, when I could just watch something and it could be the darkest or the most romantic moment, and I'm just like that, and I still understand the point of view of the filmmakers, like that's always the shit to me. And on Sugar, our wonderful team allowed us to do that and really pushed us to do that. So very
Yeah.
happy with how it turned out.
Yeah. Speaking of which, being an artist outside of all that, Ali, congratulations, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Thank you very
And
much, Paul. Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
a, a fellow inductee is a good friend of mine, and he wanted me to say hello to you, Sir Earl Toon from Kool and the Gang.
Ha
Oh,
ha ha ha. Oh man.
Yeah.
Tell him I said what's happening.
Yeah. So he's looking forward to seeing you, giving you a big
Yeah,
hug.
I'm looking forward to seeing him too, and cool son who I haven't seen because I we used to
Yes.
live like one town next door to each other. So I would bump into him a lot when I lived there, and I haven't been there for a long time. So yeah, I mean, and just so happy for those guys, I mean, like it's so long overdue, and considering their band members who are no longer here, what I mean? Like it's I understand that it's a bittersweet because Tribe is going through the same thing. But thank you, really appreciate your mention on that.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, people look up to both of you and they go, "Hey, I want to do what you do. You guys make it look so easy." But what kind of advice do each of you give to somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps?
well, my thing is, I always say to people, first and foremost, believe in yourself. But what that means is that believe that you're actually going to do what it takes to become who you want to become. So believe in yourself to do that, and just keep doing it until it becomes your full time. Because if you don't stop, it will become your full time. Um, but just you have to make sure that people are aware of what you're doing, and who you aspire to be while you're doing it. And you do that, and it'll happen. And I think when we're young, we say we want to be this when we grow up or that when we grow up. But when it comes to being an artist, when it comes to you saying you want to be an artist when you grow up, the path is nebulous because there's not one way to become successful, So like with being a great artist, you're successful when you could wake up every day and do your heart and do your art. And if you're not yet making money on your art, you still got to wake up every day and do your art until that becomes the moneymaker. So just don't stop, because I know people from high school, as well as Ali knows people from high school that were arguably more talented than us, but they stopped. And you look
Mhm.
back and you're like, yo, man, like you know who you could be right now.
mm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not an easy road, and there are people who have found shortcuts, but then they have short artistic lifespan. You
mhm,
know, and I'm not going to say don't be that person, but just know who you want to be.
mhm,
And really understand what your purpose is. And once you understand what your purpose is, then everything that Adrian said, I agree with you. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to be committed. Like
Mhm.
we are extremely committed individuals still. There's both of us could sit back and rest on our laurels and just be like, but we're not. We grind hard. We're like 18-hour a day workers at this, and that says a lot. So you want to be that person, and um there's so much to say within a short amount of time, and I want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're giving people good or great advice.
Yeah.
Um, but put yourself, make sure that you are as educated in the task, what is
Mhm.
required, and don't expect for anybody to do anything for you. This is not, if I could just get to here, then I know I will be this. It's like, no, you make yourself that, instead of relying on, if I could just, get a minute of your time and get your attention, because I know you will be the person that will help me get to the next level. No, you are the person that helps yourself get to that next level. So, and that may be heavy for people to hear and really to conceive and understand that, but If you figure out what your purpose is, it will all make sense.
Yeah, beautifully
Yeah.
said. My co-host Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame himself. He wanted me to make sure that I asked both of you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for each of you?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, it was when I I had my 9 to 5 job
Mm-hmm.
and I said nope. Because if I stay here, I'm gonna be like the rest of these dudes retiring and coming back 6 months later. If I say no now and work on myself every day, I could be living the life I want to live. So that's my moment.
I have had I've had several moments. So, um, the one was leaving college
Mm-hmm.
to pursue the music because at that point in time I was going to school and working and then working on demos for Tribe. And it got to a point where I knew the school that I was enrolled in, I didn't want that program. It was a finance and banking major. I wanted to go to law school. And so I was saving up my money to get me into law school, but really grinding on Tribe. And it got to a point where it became very apparent that this particular school wasn't it. And I had a long conversation with my mom. She made me write an essay as to why I wanted to quit school. And that's not an easy thing to do for a parent, like write an essay, but um, I believed in my journey and I wrote an essay and my mother supported that. So there's that. Um, the next one, when Tribe we were out of business in 98 with the Love Movement album. Um, through a couple of conversations with my peers, my brothers, comes this idea called Lucy Pearl, and um, it could have been intimidating, but I knew it was a continuation of my musical journey and things that I wanted to do to grow as a musician and to grow as a producer. So I didn't hesitate. I said yes. The next Hail Mary was looking around in New York City and realizing that the life there for me, not maybe for other artists, but for me, um it was closing. And I made the decision to pack my car up and drive west and hang out with my brother Adrian. And so, from that, look where we are, So I've had a few.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And part of that we talk about on that show is that success mindset that you have to have, and sometimes you have to take that leap of faith. Is there something each of you tell yourself that keeps you on that right path even when things are hard?
For me, it's just like we're alive, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's number one. Like we're actually alive. So, and we're healthy. So there's not much to complain about. And then at the end of the day, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Like that's just, I mean, that's it for me pretty much.
Yeah, I don't, it's not like I have a mantra, anything like that. I just feel that I was born to do something really important and I know what my purpose is and I strive to fulfill it every day. I'm blessed to see another day, and that's not just with the music. That's just, it could be in communicating, even in talking with you, um, and there's so many elements of opportunity that is before us with each day. And I'm not the type of person to just sit around and not appreciate the position that I've been given, to be alive, like Adrian said. So, yeah, we're driven, you
Hmm.
Yeah,
know.
I love
It's in
I
our
love
it's in our
that.
DNA.
Yeah. Well, what else are you working on right now that we need to know about?
season 4 of Raising Kanan,
Yeah.
season 2 of Reasonable Doubt. Um, we have another season. I don't know if we can talk about the Alex Cross. I don't know. I just don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's all right.
That's why I'm looking at Adrian. I'm like, maybe he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's
Yeah.
all right. We'll get the details coming up soon. But
Well, also we have our label and events company, Jazz is Dead. We have
yes.
a bunch of new music coming out. So that's gonna be very cool. So
I love that. And last thing about the show, it's it is very special. Was there a certain moment or scene or time where you're working on the music, you're just thinking, man, I'm always going to remember this because this show is special. It's going to stand out to
There are a few, but
me.
like the opening scene, because it's like an old kung fu movie or something, right? And we had to, it was just the most basic sound, but it made me feel like, I don't know, we look like living in Orson Welles time or something. Like we're hired on those kind of like projects because the way the scene opens up. I think there is it a train or there's like this, this old black and white thing, and there's like a crash, just a cymbal crash, and it's just like, okay, what's what's about to happen? The Big Bang, you
mhm,
know. So there are a few moments,
mhm.
but that's one I'll leave you with.
Yeah. Is there one for you, Adrian?
I think that's it for me because, like I said,
Yeah.
we don't usually get those opportunities
Hmm.
to do that kind of scoring, right? And the fact that Sugar has all of these classic movie cutaways,
Yeah.
it allowed us to super get into that kind of scoring. And that kind of scoring, see, I'm one of those dudes that when I'm watching Bugs Bunny, I'm listening to that music. You know?
Yeah.
Straight up. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like the amount of the amount of musical genius that just kind of goes under the radar because people don't really make music like that anymore. It's just like to be able to give us an opportunity to make that kind of noir, kind of orchestral, uh, ethereal, eclectic music
Mhm.
that harkens back to those times from, you know, Bugs Bunny to even into the late 60s, like
Yeah.
going back to Orson Welles type shit that Ali's talking about. Just to have that opportunity, man, you don't get those. You don't have you never really get uh producers asking you to do something like that.
Yeah.
And giving you an orchestra to do it. So I mean that's it for me.
That's amazing. Well, it's such a special show. The music is incredibly special. Really appreciate your
Thank you.
time today and all the great answers, and look forward to talking to both of you again very soon.
Oh, thank you,
Cool.
Paul.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right.